Hey, good evening, folks. Brad Cross here, BJ's Outdoors. Hey, we're here at the house today, man. Got something I want to go over with y'all. I've had a lot of questions about the Piscifun Alios reels that I use now. I jumped on board with them a while back, man, and I chose to go with the 300 Alios 300s instead of the Alios 400, and I had some people ask why. So I'm fixing to show you. I finally got my 400s in because I wanted to go with some. I needed both for my applications of fishing. I don't know how the lighting is here, y'all. I'm doing this in the house. But I'm gonna show y'all the difference, man, and the biggest difference to me and why I use both, and why the 300 is what it is and the 400 is what it is. So this is a 300 Piscifun Alios 300. I've used this reel for a while. This is what I went with when they first sent them to me. You can see how small, compact it is. This one here has got a 33-pound drag. I think it says it'll hold 205 yards of 40-pound line. That's a lot of line. But my deal is I'm an 80-pound. I go 80 pound or bigger, and I use 8-strand braid, so that's a little bit thicker. The difference is, man, it's pretty obvious to see the difference in the size of the reels. This is 300 and this is the 400. Alios 300, Alios 400. You see how much bigger they are, the 400s. But at the same time, it's got a 35-pound drag, which is not really that much difference. You know, that 2 pound doesn't matter in the drag system on them. The other thing, this one holds, I think it's, 185 yards of 80-pound braid. So that's what this one holds, what I use. It holds 185 yards. This one does perfectly fine, the Alios 300, for anything I do, except for dragging baits, and dragging planer boards. Reason why is because, you know, for me, I'm mostly a shallow water fisherman. It does great in shallow water, but you know, you get me out in 30, 40, 50 foot of water, you know, you got to let out line. Touch the bottom, you let out more line to keep it dragging, and then you got to let out more line, you know, to get your planer board away from the boat. The 300s to me just didn't hold enough line. It got me way down in the spool too far for my comfort zone, because I actually almost got spooled by a big fish. The 400 holds a lot more line of the bigger diameter, and you know, like I said, I've got 80 on this one. I'm gonna put 80 on this one, but that extra amount of line, with it being a bigger reel, you can see it's quite a bit of difference. The spool's bigger, holds more line, and another thing about the 400 that the 300 don't have is a bait clicker. It's got a bait clicker right there. For me, I've always ran my bait clickers. If I'm anchored up, you know, I lock my reels down and cut my bait clickers on. If I'm dragging boards, I lock them down, put the bait clicker on. It's just insurance, because, you know, if I'm not paying attention or I'm doing something else, or if I'm up there talking to y'all on the camera or whatever, I still, you know, get that detection I got a bite. The 300s don't have a clicker on them. That was the only other thing that I didn't like about the 300. I love the 300s. I'm gonna keep. I still using the 300s for other applications, but as far as dragging baits, and needing a reel with more line on it, that's why I went with a 400. But really, I just want to come on here and do a short video and show y'all the difference. You know, they pretty much the exact same reel, other than the size. Like I said, you can see the size. This one holds quite a bit less line than the 400. Now, if you wanted to spool them up with lighter line, the 300 would be perfectly fine. But for me, using 80 pounds, the 400 was, you know, better option for me dragging baits. And I really didn't know. I've never used them before. Some of my buddies got them. Baby, you need to get out of the camera now. She wants to be a part of this, y'all. She's always got to get in the camera. But for me, the 400 is going to be great for some applications I use, and the 300 is going to be perfectly fine for the others. The 300, I will tell you, that's an awesome bumping reel. Walking baits are bumping. Reason why, now this one's got line on it. I just took it off a rod. Reason why, I don't know if y'all can see it right there. When you mash that button, this little thing comes up right here. You know, you're sitting there walking baits. bumping or whatever you're doing, you're constantly letting out line. Well, me being right-handed, or holding my rod in my right hand when I'm bumping most of the time, if one, fish hits, I got to reach way over here to engage that spool. But when you got the 300s, what I like about them, when a fish hits, you're sitting there bumping, whatever fish hits, all you got to do is mash that button. You ain't got to worry about turning that handle. Just hit that button, it locks the spool down, you're good to go. So that is a big advantage to these right here. I don't know of any other reel out there, but I'm sure there is some that has that option. Because I know the bass fishermen used to use them when they was, pitching in, pads or stuff like that. Just general pitching, they would have that on there where they could lock their spool without having to turn the handle. But that's a great deal with the 300, man. It has that. The 300, as far as bumping, walking baits, it's very, very small. It's compact, just like, a small, low-profile bass reel, pretty much same size. But it's very heavy duty. Like I said, it's got a 33-pound drag. That's more than enough. Way more than enough. You'll never use that much drag. But like I said, I love the 300s. I have no problem with them at all. If anything I do other than dragging baits where I need more line capacity. And that was the only reason I had them send me some more in the 400s. But like I said, they're pretty much the same reel, but you can tell the difference in how big this one is compared to that one. I think this one's got a bigger handle on it, of course, to match the reel. And the bait clicker, like I said, that was a big deal for me, is having that bait clicker, because I do a lot of night fishing in the late summer and early fall. Bait clicker is it's almost a must at night. Cause I don't like to keep my lights on, because of bugs and stuff. So a bait clicker, you cut your lights off, you hear one take off, flip your light on, go catch your fish. But yeah, I just want to share that with y'all, man. Like I said, these are awesome reels. This is not a review. I've done my review with them. I don't have to do anything. They're just a great company. They send me what I need, and I use them. And like I said, they're very, very stout. Very powerful reel. They cast smooth, they drag smooth on them. I love them, man. I wish I knew about them. Well, I did know about them, but I just didn't really know about them. But fishing with Mike and Spencer, they use them, and kind of seeing firsthand how durable they are and how smooth they are. It really was a no-brainer for me. But you can get either one of these reels from Piscifun. Using my code BJC18, save you 18%. They do run sales on these a lot. And like I said, I just love just the low profile, big power handle. You crank those fish in, and the drag smooth and everything on them, man. Like I said, I really love them. And like I said, I just want to show y'all that, man, because I had some people to ask, what's the difference and why did I go with the 300? And that's the only reason I went with the 300 for the smaller, low profile. It fits my hand better. It's got the option for what I call a bumping button there. It's awesome for that. But once I got the 300s, I was going to go all 300s, and I thought, well, I really need more line for dragging baits, because it's just a must. Because sometimes, generally, I'm dragging in 8 to 12 foot, but there's times when I have to get out deep, and you don't want to let all your line off your reel and get down to the spool and a big fish take off, and But anyway, that was the reason for the 400s, and plus the bait clicker. That's the only difference that I see in these two reels, to where I needed one or the other. Now, if the 300 had would hold the line that the 400 did and had the bait clicker, I would have stayed with the 300s completely. But I've got both, and like I said, different applications calls for different things. Same rod, same thing with rods. You use different rods for some applications, and others you use others. But as far as the reels, I just want to show y'all the difference, man. Do a little quick video. I hope y'all can even see me. I got kind of a makeshift camera room going on here. But yeah, that's the difference, man. Like I said, if you want a great reel that'll last you, low profile, you can't beat the Piscifun, man. Like I said, I'm not a salesman. That ain't what this video's about. But I've had so many questions about them. People ask me, and you know, I can tell you whatever I want, or as much as I can through a message. But you know, for me to show you firsthand, I thought that was the best thing to do. And I just got my 400s today, so before I put them on my rods, I wanted to do this little video. But yeah, that's the difference, man. In the Piscifun Alijoz 400, Piscifun Alijoz 300. That's the only difference. It's the size of the reel, bigger spoof, more line, bait clicker. That's the only difference. You got 2 pound difference in the drag, and that ain't really enough to even matter. But you got the big brother, you got the little brother. They're both great reels, and I'd highly recommend them if you're looking for a low profile reel that will last you and very durable. So anyway, I appreciate y'all watching. I'll catch y'all on the next one. See you then, and God bless you.